Greetings and good day. This is Coach Veronica Montgomery. I am an emotional wellness coach. My specialty is helping people live a healthier and a happier life through shadow work and emotional awareness, resolution of past energies, and coming forward into yourself that feels like you want to feel. You can reach me on my website at veronicamarie.com. Also, connect with me on social media channels if you feel led. Consider subscribing to this channel and liking this video, perhaps even sharing it. Today, I just have a short moment to share about the dark, wild, divine, feminine energy. It's one of my favorite spaces to discuss what that darkness could look like. A lot of people are afraid of the dark. They suppress the dark. They live primarily in love and light. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that. There are others, however, who need to understand their darkness in order to live enriched lives. I'm one of those people. The things that lie in the darkness of our subconscious are clues, clues to understanding self in deeper ways, clues to understanding others, clues that help us understand life, you know. And so without understanding the darkness, we get stuck in a tug of war, if you will. The many times we feel divided within our being can come from not navigating darkness well. We are often counseled to take the higher road and be the bigger person and vibrate higher. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. We need that too. We also need to understand that our being is also comprised of other states of being. There's spaces within us that don't want to take the higher road. There are spaces within that may crave a more left-handed approach. There are spaces within us, if we are those type of beings, and I am, that crave an understanding, right, of the shadow realms and magic and spirituality and such. And so, again, this talk is not for everybody, and it's not long and not very detailed, but it is your sign that this part of you is very important. The petty spaces, the sarcastic spaces, the vengeful spaces, the unforgiving spaces, the anxious spaces, those are important too. And they should not be overlooked, in my opinion, because those spaces don't go away. We can distract ourselves away from them and cope ourselves away from them, but those energies don't go away. And then you wonder, how am I coming into interactions that keep bringing this forward in me? It's for self-knowledge. Then you can decide whether or not you want to keep this, where it's useful, where it isn't useful, where is it helping, where is it sabotaging, and make some conscious decisions. In this space, we also have what is called in the collective mental health situations. I'm careful to call it mental health situations because I don't believe it's disordered. I think there are certain states of being that are different, and there are no norms or standards to compare them to. However, in the realm of mental health, there are strategies that have been studied to assist beings who navigate in different ways. There are herbs. There are also medications. I never tell someone, don't take a medicine. You must be led by your soul, because there are some medicinal properties of pharmaceutical companies that or products that pharmaceutical companies offer that may be beneficial to some beings. And for others, it is not beneficial. So I don't believe in a broad stroke approach to living life when you are dealing in the realm of mental health. I think you need to be led and guided by your soul. And as always, I have to put this in here just because of the nature of this section. As always, have conversations with medical professionals when necessary and when advised. Okay. So when you have this dark, wild, divine feminine, it could feel like a rebellion, right? And rebellion seems to be anti-culture, anti-collective, because culture and collective both thrive on you following the laid out path and not veering. However, the soul is a wild entity. You can feel the wildness anytime you're trying to press yourself to do something you really don't want to do. And you could see the wildness of it in the outcome when you press yourself to do what you don't want to do. You feel resentful, maybe rebellious. You feel whatever you feel, drained, right? So the nature of the soul is freedom based. The nature of your existence is freedom based, but the nature of the world that we live in is boundary based. And I'm not saying that's wrong. We have to know how to navigate both worlds where our soul is not dry and restless, and also where we're operating in the outside realities in a way that is beneficial, where we're not having to buck against every rule and every principle, but we learn how to shift the energy of the rules and the principles to work together for our good. An example of this would be gravity, right? Gravity, they say, is a law in physics. But people have learned to work with gravity and against gravity to invent many different things. So this is not us breaking rules and laws. It's about us learning how to navigate with the rule or the law in order to be beneficial. And then there are other times where you actually do break the rule and the law, and it's necessary. But it's important not to try to draw an identity based upon that, right? I'm a rule breaker. I'm a law breaker. I'm the black sheep. You know, when we begin to place identity in these labels, then it doesn't allow us to be discerning, because there's some spaces where you do have to pull back a little for the greater good of your soul. There's sometimes you need to speak forward a little more for the greater good of your soul. And so all of this masterful movement requires that we get to know every part of ourselves. We need to know what sources are we pulling from within when we give, when we speak, when we do, when we act, when we offer. A lot of times givers have a deep need to be acknowledged, right? But if the giver is giving, saying, you know, I'm giving out the goodness of my heart, and they really are, but there's also the dark component of wanting acknowledgement. But if the person does not attend to their need for acknowledgement, they will give and give and give, bend over backwards, and feel drained and resentful. When you learn how to recognize, yes, I want acknowledgement, then you can give with clarity. You can give and speak up and say, yes, I will give this to you, but I like a certain acknowledgement after, right? I would like you to say thank you or show gratitude in some way. Or farther down along the line, I will want you to do something similar for me when I ask. This is getting to know your shadow so that you can create aligned situations. You know, a lot of people want to show you gratitude. A lot of people want to pay you back. A lot of people want to return the favor. But if you're busy denying the fact that you want it, then you're probably not going to get it. And this is what I mean when I say getting to know your dark components, what we're calling dark components. I don't think they're dark. I just think it's part of a continuum. But for the sake of talking, we call things dark and light and gray. And I'm okay with that. So I hope this makes sense. It's important for you to look at the things that you think are not right, yet you still want them. I think it's important to explore the things that you've been told that you should or shouldn't do, etc., when it goes against what your soul is actually requiring. Am I saying do it? No. I'm saying explore the inner reality without judgment, without labeling it as right or wrong, and you will find some great nuggets about your soul within those things. You will become more aware, right, and be able to navigate this life in a more meaningful and fulfilling way. So going back to the example of the giver who suppresses their desire for acknowledgement, well, then this person has to force themselves to keep giving and keep reorienting every time they give and don't get the acknowledgement. That's not beneficial, right? But if the person